going on here? Good morning. It's almost afternoon, but good morning. Welcome to Periwinkle Palace Arts. I'm Princess Bun Bun. We do art stuff here and just chill and chat and yeah. So first thing we do is say hi to bunnies. Say hi, Maya. Maya likes to turn this into a headband during the day. And she's become quite attached to the emotional support shrimp. King prawn. Okay, ma'am. We also have two bunnies who join us today. This is the mocha latte bunny. And we know how much I love coffee, obviously, but I also love anything that's mocha flavored. So I had to have her. And her name is kind of obvious. She's Mocha. I love her pointy ears. And she has some beans on her. And right here. I don't know why they put them there. Seems a little weird to me, but whatever. And also we have Flit. This bunny is the flight bunny associated with fear reactions and fear responses. And she has these little things on her head. They're flexible. And she has little tiny wings on her back to fly away. But this bunny has no tail. And I don't know what happened. My poor bun. She doesn't have her bunny tail. She's the only bunny that I have that doesn't have a tail. And I think they just forgot to put it on her. Anyway, she has all kinds of pretty marks on her. And I don't know what they mean. At some point I'm going to pull those things up and we'll talk about them, but not today. Okay, today is Sunday. I did not stream yesterday. I wasn't feeling good, so I stayed in bed with my crayons. And I did this piece of art yesterday. I started this on April 15th. And I started it when I first started going into the bad withdrawals from going off some of my meds. So it kind of started like dark down at the bottom, but as I went up, it got like lighter and lighter. So I finished that yesterday, but we're gonna come in with some markers of some sort and add some detail to it and go over the words and color the butterfly. I was very small butterfly, so I want to color it with something different. I really love how my bubbles came out though. Kind of random, but so we've got that. And we have our two backgrounds we were doing on the last live stream that sort of went awry. And I think that I figured out why. So we're going to test that, and we're going to see if we can fix those. I also want to try to use Pan Pastel on this expressive blending sheet and see if it sticks or if it goes more blendy. I don't know. We're gonna do that. Now, being Sunday, I have bedhead. I don't do anything with my hair usually on Sundays. I don't know why. It's just a thing. So yes, I have bedhead. And I'm still not feeling that great. But we showed up here, so that's kind of the point. We have coffee. I'm not wearing bunny ears today. I'm wearing a princess crown instead. Sometimes I do that. And sometimes I wear bunny ears and a princess crown. It just depends on how I feel. Anyway, yeah. So let's get into it. You could see this really dark line around here, and it didn't blend well right here. And where the color is dark, it's very blotchy and very desaturated. And I couldn't figure out why that happened, but I have an idea. I think what happened is that I put far too much ink on the page. And one of the great things about alcohol markers is the way that they layer up. So that makes them very easy to blend. So I was a little confused as to why it wasn't blending. I was using the chisel tip, and I was using the chisel tip of the marker in the way you would normally use a chisel tip marker. And that's not how these markers are made to be used. I don't know what I was thinking. But I can show you the difference, I think. So I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to grab the same colors that I used on the pink. If I can remember, RV 93 and RV 000. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the chisel tips the same way I used them on here and on here. And then I'm going to swatch that, and then I'm going to swatch them the way I think I should have done it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's pop out the chisel tip. We've got RV 93. I'm just going to come over here and our chisel tip. Do you see how I'm going over and over and over and over, and I'm just layering the color up, right? Soaking the paper. This is what I was doing. And that is not how these markers are meant to be used. Alright? It's not just about the chisel tip. The chisel tip doesn't automatically do that. It's the way I was using the chisel tip. And so now we'll come in with RV 000 and do the same thing. Even when I go back over here, it's not blending, right? And I thought that it might be because I was using the two colors that are so far away from each other. This is RV 000 and RV 93. That's pretty far away. But I don't remember what color I used. I added another color in between the two colors on the flower, I think, and it didn't help. So let's try this again. Same color. Using the chisel tip again. Okay, so what's the difference? What did I just do that's different? I only did one stroke across the page. I only put in one layer of color. You're gonna grab the chisel tip on RV 000, and we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna come back here to try and blend it. Let that dry a little bit. I'm gonna do another coat of this color since it's so light. Okay. And we see that it still doesn't blend completely, and that I'm pretty sure is because they're too far apart in color range. But if you look, it's still blending a lot better than this one, and that's the way you're supposed to use these markers, or any alcohol markers. I wasn't thinking very well. But let's see if I can get it to blend a little better. I'm gonna make a whole nother one. I'm gonna use the brush tip. The same thing. All right. I don't know if you can see the difference. Let me try to show you. Can you see the difference between this one, and this one? So if I'm using the chisel tip, I need to be softer at the end out here and kind of lift my brush, my marker, because that's what I do with this one. And while it's not a great blend, it very easily feathered into each other. And this is a super hard edge, and it's super dark, and the multiple layers of color, that's still not even dry. This is dry. This is completely dry. So now we know, all right? And I feel like that is the correct issue. Okay. Yeah, the correct issue. It's the correct issue. So I think that will help in the future. I don't know if it will help on the actual piece that we have. Now RV93 is a smoky purple, and RV 000 is a pale purple. I think I'm going to attempt to get a color that's really close to this and dark, and try to make that a mid-tone between the two colors. I really don't know how it's going to work, but we'll dig through the bucket and find out. But right now, I want to play with this. Sometimes I do multiple things, and it just depends on what I'm feeling like doing. Okay, but we still need this piece of paper. So I have the some of the Spectrum Noir metallic markers. They're very opaque. Don't laugh. I have a lot of Spectrum Noir markers. I also have the full set of Spectrum Noir metallic flip markers. And I love these. These are the Spectrum Noir sparkle brushes, which are a tinted color with glitter in them. So we're going to be using some of these, and I'll show you how each one looks. So let's see, this is, what is it? It doesn't say. Does it? Yes, it does. This is spun gold, and it's kind of got like this water brush type pen. So it lays down quite a lot of glitter, and I think it's a watercolor ink, and it sparkles a lot. And then we've got the flip markers, which I'll have to show you. Let's see, I need a black marker or a dark marker. Okay, we'll use T6, because the reason they're called flip markers is that they look different depending on whether you apply them over a dark color or a light color. They look a little different, not a lot. Let's use the blue. It's kind of like a cerulean blue to dark blue. This one's called Reef. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, it shows up pretty good. But do you see how it looks sort of more green? It looks more green over the T6 color. Anyway, this isn't. So yeah, it looks more green. And then over the white area, it looks more blue. This is very bad lighting for this. There you go. Can you see that? I like them. And then we have the metallic markers. This is amethyst. It comes with a brush tip and a bullet tip. So this is amethyst. They're very metallic. But they're also very opaque. So whatever I put these ones over, it's going to block them out completely. Whatever's below it. You see that? There's so much sparkle and metallic in those pens. And I think that this piece really needs that. We're also going to put some white details on here. I might even blend it out a little bit in some areas. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. All right, let me grab the Derwent brand burnisher. I like this one for crayon. And I love this eraser for crayon as well. So I'm just gonna go in these flowers down here and see if I can make them smooth and reduce the tooth showing through. don't know if you can tell the difference there on that little part of the petal, how it has less of the tooth showing through. It looks smoother. So that's basically what we're doing. And honestly, this is going to take a while, but a lot of times in the morning, I do like to do a simple, repetitive task. And that's how I'm feeling today. Did Bernie Sanders just say lambasted instead of lambasted? Yes, he did. So I'm watching YouTube today, and I'm listening to my music also. If you want to see the music I'm listening to, it's right there in the box. I think I might need to turn on like some kind of notification sound or something for the YouTube chat, because I don't think I notice right away when my husband sends a message in it, and I don't want to miss any messages. I also want to see if Pan Pastel will stick to this paper right here. This is actually, I don't do this very often, but I did kind of just tear this page out of the book and color directly on the coloring book page. Usually I take the page out and copy it to the paper that I want to use, but this one I didn't. Some of my books I've decided I can just some of my pages, I just color on them right out of the book. This is done with Crayola crayon, and I do a lot of pieces with Crayola crayon, but I also have fallen in love with Neo colors. I can't say that. Karan Daesh? Is that how you say it? Karan Daesh? I like both the wax colors. Not the wax. They're wax, but that's not what I'm trying to say. I like the regular ones, and I also have the full set of Neo Color 2, which is water soluble, and I haven't used them yet. I have a specific project that I'm going to try them on, and that'll be coming up at some point, but I'm really looking forward to it. I don't do a lot with wet media, but I enjoy it when I do, so I really enjoy it. So I've decided at the beginning of the year, I think, that I'm going to work with it. So I've got some watercolors, I've got some water soluble pencils, and those Neo colors, and we'll be playing with them at some point. My mouth is extremely dry this morning. Why? I do not know. I really love this Derwent burnisher for working with crayon. I've tried all the different ones. Maybe I can do a comparison of them at some point, or I might already have a video of that. I have videos of almost every piece I've done, so eventually, once I get better at the editing using Final Cut Pro, I will be putting videos of past projects up here, as well as videos of projects that I don't do on live. Because what you see me doing on live, that's just one task that I would do that day. When I get off live, I actually have other things that I work on. I don't really have any method to the madness when it comes to deciding what I'm doing on live. I just pick up whatever's in front of me and continue on. But in the future, if you look on my Instagram, you'll be able to see other pieces that I've done. And if you're interested in seeing the video for that, I can take requests for whatever video that you might like to see and go through my videos and find that one and put it together and post it. I do a lot more than just coloring. Some of it I haven't decided if I'm going to post, but yeah, I do a lot of other things. This week, at some point, I absolutely have no choice but to stop coloring for a little while and redo the overlays on my nails, because I'm having a really bad psoriasis flare up and I haven't been taking care of it, and my fingers are just, the skin's just peeling off around them. And when I put overlays on my nails, it really helps that not happen. And my nail beds hurt. They hurt so bad that last night I dreamed that I sliced this finger open on the end and it started to like turn black because it was losing circulation. And then I went to Walmart and picked up some sort of prescription and I ate the prescription. I took the meds or whatever, and it just started to not be black anymore, but it was still like flopping open. I couldn't get anybody to stitch it up. When I woke up, I realized that this finger actually hurts really bad. And so at first I was like, oh, my finger was hurting in my dream, so that must be why it feels funny. But then I realized that doesn't make sense. My finger was probably hurting in my sleep, and that seeped into my dream. So yeah, they hurt pretty bad and I need to take care of them. It's a task that I don't particularly love, so I have to do this cuticle care cleanup, and yeah, it's gonna be fun / sarcasm, but I'll probably do that on live. Mostly because I don't like doing it that much, so if I'm on live, at least I can talk to somebody, maybe. Talk to somebody, or just talk to myself. I also like using this little brush on the end of this pencil eraser when I'm working with crayon because it works a little bit better than my Kit and Clowder brush. There's a lot more wax that deposits on the page when you're using crayon than there is with like color pencils. The burnisher works pretty similar to the blender pencils, except I think that it's got less wax in it. So the colorless blender has higher wax content, and it actually applies that wax to the paper, giving you a little bit more pigment. It's pigmentless wax, so it helps add wax to the paper if you didn't put down a lot of layers. This one doesn't so much add anything, which is nice because, like I said, there's more wax content in crayons, and it kind of it pushes the pigment into the paper and moves the pigment around without adding the content of the wax so much to the page, which is good. You don't want to add more wax necessarily when you're working with crayon. What you want is something that's going to press the pigments into the paper, fill in those tooth areas, but this also kind of helps to remove any extra wax that's on there, which is what you see coming up, these little pieces of extra wax. And I like that better for crayon than I do a blender pencil. So far, this is my favorite one to use with crayon. Did I say that already? I don't know. I feel like this helps me keep my colors really more true. I do want to try the Colors Pencil Blender Powder from Brush and Pencil that I got, but I'm going to try that up here. I just want to see how it works with crayon. It has a weird texture that I wasn't expecting, but that may have just been because I was putting it over the Pan Pastel. I had the Pan Pastel on it in black, and then I came over it with black colored pencil, and it kind of made a mess. So I was using different method blendings to try and fix that mess, and it worked okay, but I don't think it was intended to go over Pan Pastel. I think it blended it together and made a wonky texture. I always forget that when I'm listening to live news, it repeats. You'll see me doing this or this. It's because I'm wiping the extra wax off of the tip of the pencil. I don't know that it's really necessary for me to do that, but it's a habit. Especially when I'm blending. Whether it's with a white pencil or a blender. I do usually go off the stream at lunch, but because it's Sunday, I'm not doing that today. I usually sleep a little bit late on Sundays, sometimes Saturdays too. But it doesn't matter what time I wake up. It takes me pretty much exactly the same amount of time to get ready for my day, whether I wake up at 5 or 7 or 8. So if I get out here later, then that means that I can usually work through lunch. If you want to call this work. This is my job. Not my career, just what I do. I'm really trying not to do what I usually do and wipe the tip of my pencil on my shirt. I really like this little dress. And it's a material that I happen to know pigment, wax-based pigment, does not come out of easily. The trick to using pencil blenders and burnishers is actually to go over it with light pressure. You want to let the pencil do the work. You don't want your hands to be doing the work. Ouch. I don't know if you can see how this is coming together, but it was very speckled. Like, see how right here, this area is super speckled, but if you look at the flowers I just blended, there's no speckles. And I think that just makes it so much prettier. It just smooths everything out. And yes, I have been known to do an entire page like this. I don't know how much we're gonna do today. At some point I may switch out to something else. I don't know, I feel like on the weekends especially, it's a good time for what I call piddling and experimenting, where you just do various little things. Sometimes I do that during the week too, though. I'm trying to remember what book this page is out of, so I can tell you. Tonight for the rest of my life, I'm gonna be stuck. Trump has a faith advisor? Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was a Christian. I mean, I'm not a Christian myself, but I know what they believe, and just saying. One thing that I love about the burnisher, as opposed to the blender pencil is that when you burnish, it does move the pigment around a little bit, but if you look here, you can see I still have my white highlight exactly where I put it. If I had used a blender pencil there, it would have gotten rid of some of the highlight, because it does more pushing the wax around. This does more pushing it into the paper. They both do a little bit of each, but it's about which one does more. I really like the way that's looking. Usually when I'm done with a piece that I did in Crayola, it doesn't even look like it was done with Crayola. Religious crackheads. Okay. Mm-mm. Many, 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 many years ago, before I learned about actual blending techniques, what I used to do with Crayola crayons is I would color really hard into the paper, and then I would take something that I could scrape with, usually some kind of nail tool, and I would scrape it, and it would kind of push the pigment into the paper and also remove the wax bloom. That's kind of what this does. It just kind of does it a lot better than, like, a nail tool. It's also less aggravating to people because scraping the paper, it makes a really annoying noise, which didn't bother me much when I was younger because I was always trying to, like, aggravate people anyway. Like, the more annoying I could be while coloring, the more likely I'd get sent out of the room. So now we've done that entire bottom part, and I'm just going to keep on working upwards. this coloring page that has quite a few of these black dots through the whole page. And like kind of like distressing marks, I guess. They're not distressing because like they upset you or anything. Just little marks. Like right here. I don't know if you can see that. Little black dots. There's some right here. I'm gonna come back over all of those when I'm finished with white. I didn't know I was gonna do that a few minutes ago. I just decided it. Because they look funny to me. I'm like, it looks like, I keep trying to pick them off. It looks like flecks of color in the wrong place. Just looks like that to me. I don't know. Another thing that I like about using a burnisher over a blender is that I've noticed when I use colors, whether it's colored pencil or crayon, any wax medium really, and it has glitter in it or metallic in it, when you use a pencil blender, it has a tendency to grab a hold of the sparkly bits of the pigment and just push them right off the page. A burnisher, well, at least this burnisher, doesn't do that. It leaves the glitter there. I'm not sure why or how. I'm just telling you that's what happens. And I mean, I guess that could vary depending on your product, like what brand you're using, or even what kind of paper you're using. But I found it to be pretty consistent across mediums and across paper. So that's the other reason, because I used a lot of glitter and metallic colors at the bottom down here. And I didn't want it to take those out. I didn't know for sure if it would work great, but it's working great. When I'm burnishing or blending something like this, where the strokes kind of go across or up and down, I go in long back and forth strokes. But when I'm blending or burnishing something that's more, I don't know how to say it. I mean, these don't have like highlights in them right here, these purple spots. So I kind of blend them around in little circles. But when I'm blending something like this, it's kind of a ribbon, I'm gonna go up and down the length of it. When I do this, I always end up with wax all over everything. Myself, my desk, other art pieces. I feel like when you're doing art though, there comes a point where you kind of just have to let it go. Just let it go the way it's gonna go. Don't stress over it. I can make your hands clap. I got wax pieces all over me. It's everywhere. Oops. Sometimes a paper towel is required. Should I wear that dress? You know it looks so good on you. Should I wear that bar? So I got my kid. Well, there you go, reading my mind. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking for, I'm thinking it. Ooh, you light the fire and I keep it lit. I think you should be able to see the difference here. So I've blended this petal right here. Come on. I have very bad direction sense. So I blended that one and that one. And that's what it looked like before I blended it, those two. Nobody knows about me. Crazy how I feel what you got. Nobody knows about me. Oh, you light the fire and I keep it lit. Yeah, I know you better than you myself. Sorry. You make me feel like I'm wrong. Okay. So, colored pencil, crayon, both wax-based mediums. So, in theory, often what works well for colored pencil can also work well for crayon. And so I want to try this brush and pencil, colored pencil powder blender on crayon. I have no idea what's going to happen or if I'm even using this correctly, but we're just going to take a little bit of this and add it to this blue area, like so. I mean, I'm not really seeing it here. Yeah. I think maybe if I had a couple of layers of crayon there, it would work a little better. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna do this right next to where I put the colored pencil blender. I had the thought also that I wonder if you're supposed to use a pencil blender with the powdered colored pencil blender. So let's try that. I don't know. It seems to be making this wax clump up a little bit. Yeah, I'm not liking that. I'll give it another test sometime, but I don't like it right now. It makes it blotchy. I don't like to make the burnisher super sharp, but it helps if it has a little bit of a point. Yeah, I'm not really happy with that. I made it really blotchy. Mm. I feel like I don't have enough actual color in this big area to even blend it. So I'm gonna move up here and and there's a lot of different types of blenders that you can use with wax mediums, including like wet blenders. I call them wet blenders. Like you can blend with isopropyl alcohol, mineral spirits. They even have some pens that have a solution in them. I've tried all those things. I've tried baby oil, um, KY lube. Uh, I've tried um, vegetable glycerin, Elmer's sticky out. I've used a lot of things to try and blend wax mediums. I have a whole series that I did on that. I might go back and put that into a video someday. I'm really not stressing on it right now though. Oh. Oh, thanks for letting me know. That's because my whole desk moves. You should see when Damien walks by. It looks like I ran into something. Like on a dirt bike or something. I kind of can't do much about that. Ugh. Hi, Dipaso. I won't have it very long. I got crayon all over everything. Yay! Thank you. love me anyway. Okay. I'm trying to make a decision in my head if I'm going to share something or not. Sometimes I have to like really take a bath or a shower after after I use crayons. Like right now? Question mark. Or in general? Question mark. I try to do kind of one element of an image at a time. And the reason for that is that way I don't get little flecks of, say, pink and green, or blue in the green, or pink. So,
What's up?
what?
Group chat.
Mm. Monday mornings are not great for me. I just broke the tip in there. Where did I go? Mm. I'm gonna come back on these bubbles and add white highlights. I'm just kind of blurring them and blending them out a little bit. Man, I really need to find me a good podcast. YouTube is annoying me a little bit today. My husband did let me know a few minutes ago that when I'm coloring kind of hard, my desk and the camera is shaking. I am sorry about that. Um, all of my equipment is mounted directly to my desk, so if I shake my desk, yeah. Um, Once I move this into the studio, we won't have that problem anymore because everything's going to be mounted to the wall and not to the desk. I just haven't gotten there yet. So I apologize for now. I will try to keep that in mind and not color too fast, too hard. But if it shakes, I'm sorry. I have a little tear right here, so I gotta be careful. I mean, normally I would just cut that part off, but I kind of like the way this particular bubble came out. Periwinkle in our eyes, golden you never do open me forever. I just realized that I kind of didn't color this part at all. which means I need my crayons. We'll deal with it. This part right here, there's a bubble there and some of the water. I'd rather not. Huh? Yeah. Stretching. I think at this point I need to take a break from blending because my arthritis bump is starting to hurt pretty bad. You see the wax got everywhere. Okay, let me grab my pan pastels. I just want to see if this if the pan pastel will stick to this expressive blending paper. But first I want to just trim a piece off so that I don't get it all over the entire page. Because I've been using this for about a year, this little piece, and it's pretty much covered. This is just my little scrap piece. Little rubbing alcohol. Swipe around the desk. think I'm gonna use red. Yellow. And blue. Just go with the 3 primary colors. I just had one of the little applicators on my desk. Where did it go? I mean, I really just had it in my hand. Is it still in my hand? No? There it is. So the main goal here is just to see if it sticks to the paper. I've heard that smooth papers are actually, you can blend your colors on the paper because it doesn't stick very well. But I think it would be cool to use pan pastels on expressive blending paper. So we got red. I mean, it seems to be sticking pretty good. This is interesting. I need another applicator. There we go. I've noticed that this blue, out of all of the colors of pan pastel that I have, kind of goes on a little splotchy. It's sort of thin. It's not as opaque as the other colors. I mean, obviously I can build it up, but I guess it's not a bad thing, it's just an observation. It takes more application than the other colors do, and I just find that strange. I mean, it's not dusting it off. So let us, I'm going to use the other side of this and want to try and blend these two colors together. And I thought, I guess, that even if it stuck to the paper, that it wouldn't have enough tooth to build up the color, but I appear to be wrong. I appear to have made an inaccurate assumption. Which, this is good, but also a little disappointing. I was hoping that if it didn't stick to the paper well, that it would be a good surface for blending colors on, because my understanding was that smooth paper doesn't hold the color, and therefore you can use it as kind of like a blending palette, and I found that to be inaccurate multiple times. First on plain printer paper, and now here. But in order to be able to blend your color for use on something else, it has to not stick to the surface that you're blending on. So I'm a little confused. I've been able to blend well on paper, kind of, like the paper that I'm using it on, but I've also been able to, like, on the sponge, put two colors together, but I have yet to figure out how to blend on a surface to be able to get the exact color that I want and then apply it to the paper. I have a few other things I want to try. Not today, but I do have a few other things I want to try. See how opaque the red and the yellow is? And the blue is just not, it's not giving the same intensity and opacity. So that's pretty good. There's not a lot of fall off. I wish that the blue was better. I don't know if you could see the difference between how much the red and yellow don't have any show through on it, but the blue does. And let me take a finger down this, see what we get. That's not too bad. Turn my finger all the way over. Hang on. That's not a lot. There's not a lot of fall off. There's not a lot of I mean, that comes out pretty nice, honestly. I was not expecting it to stick at all. So again, this is Express It blending card. I'm gonna write that on here. What was that? I'm going to put a check mark next to it so I know that it's a good thing. Okay, now I'm going to grab this and let me go over here and dig through the markers to see if I can find a color that's closer to what I'm looking at. RB93 was the color we were using. Let me grab RB85. That's probably pretty close. And 'What I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for. This is RV95. That's RV93. At some point I am going to organize these better. I just haven't gotten to it. How about RV83? Alright, we've got... Okay, that's... These are R's, not RVs. Okay, that's where I'm going wrong. We've got... I got 91. RV 91. Okay. $66. I'm wondering if the RV range is kind of like just bridging the gap between red and violet. I'm not sure, y'all. Alright, well, I've got 91 and 95.